Here's our third example of rational functions. Again, the first thing I want to do is factor this all out. Let's see, I think that's right. Minus plus 3x. Okay, so there we go. So the first thing I want to do is I want to find the zeros of the polynomial. So I'm going to set the numerator equal to 0. So I'm going to have x plus 1 and x minus 1 is equal to 0. So that's going to give me x is equal to -1 and +1. These are my zeros, or where it crosses the x-axis. The next thing I want to do is set my denominator equal to 0. So I'm going to have x plus 3, x minus 2, those equal 0. So I'm going to have x is equal to -3 and +2. These are going to be my vertical asymptotes. Now I want to look at my horizontal asymptotes. Because my degree of my polynomial on top is the same as the degree of my polynomial on bottom, the horizontal asymptote is going to be a ratio of the leading coefficients. In this case, we have 1 and 1. So my horizontal asymptote is going to be 1 over 1, which is equal to 1. So that means when it's going to approach y is equal to 1 at positive negative infinity. So as x goes to positive infinity or negative infinity, y is going to be equal to 1. Next, I want to find the y-intercept. And that's where the function is equal to 0. I'm going to substitute it into this part right here. I'm going to get 0 squared minus 1 over 0 squared plus 0 minus 6. That's going to be equal to 1/6. So that is going to be my y-intercept. So let's go ahead and try to graph this function. I have zeros at -1 and +1. I have my y-intercept at 1/6. I have my vertical asymptotes at -3 and +2. And then I have my horizontal asymptote at 1. Now, one thing about horizontal asymptotes is that your graph can cross the horizontal asymptote. Unlike the vertical asymptotes, it can cross the horizontal asymptote. It just means that it'll settle in as we go to infinity what's going to be happening. Great. So I know I'm going to cross here, here, and here, and it has to be something like this. I also know that as it goes to positive infinity, it's going to be a positive number because I have infinity squared over infinity squared. That's a positive value. So it can't ever be here negative. And so it's going to be contained into something like this. Also on the negative side over here, I'm going to have negative infinity squared over negative infinity squared. Overall, that's going to be a positive value. So it has to be up in here as well. Now, it will cross the horizontal asymptote if we had a 0 here or we had a 0 here, and we don't have that in this case. So we know that it's going to be fully contained in this little piece that we have right here.